everybody? Oh, we got some music playing here. Let's see if we can figure out how to stop that. There it goes. Okay. So, what's up, everybody? Oh, we got some music playing here. Let's see if we can figure out how to stop it. There it goes. Okay. Oh, I see what's going on. What's happening, everyone? Hopefully everyone is doing well. Welcome to 2022. Hard to believe we are already here in a new year. How can it already be 2022? I feel like we were just ringing in 2021, or even better yet, 2020. You know what? I'm so out of sort on doing this lately. Let me fix something and get some better audio here first. If we bring in our trusty microphone here, that's going to make our audio a little bit better to start. And hopefully everybody's doing well. Welcome in tonight. We're going to have a very exciting show this evening. As you're joining in, do me a favor, say in the chat where you're watching from tonight. And while we're talking about things, and I say we, because I'm going to have a guest here in a few minutes. Erica Davis with Guild Mortgage is going to be joining in. We're going to have a fun time talking about the most expensive homes to sell in Myrtle Beach during the last year. We're going to talk about some major changes coming to financing on second homes. When I say major, I mean big, big changes. But anyway, as we're getting things started, I see people starting to join into the stream. Welcome in. Do me a favor, drop a comment. Tell me where you're watching from tonight. And, as you're going along, if you have questions about anything related to Myrtle Beach or mortgages or loans or all that kind of stuff, feel free to drop them. And Erica and I, when she comes on here in a few minutes, will do our best to answer them for you. But while we're getting started here, I just want to first take a minute and just say thank you to all my clients from last year. You guys were amazing. I had one of my best years in real estate in a long time, and it was simply amazing. The market here in Myrtle Beach is still on fire. If you saw the video I pushed out this last Thursday, we talked about, is the market going to crash in 2022? Are we going to see prices decrease? Is the foreclosure market going to just blow up? And I don't think it's happening. I don't see things changing. I see somebody in the green coming into the green room, so we're going to bring her in here in a minute. But I don't see the market of 2022 stopping. I think it's going to be amazing, just like 2021 and 2020, if not even better, should I say? Dare I say better? But I think it might be. But let's take a minute. Let me jump over here a minute and bring in Erica. What's happening?
Hi. I apologize. I clicked on the wrong link and I was hearing your introduction.
Oh, you wanted to be a viewer, spectator instead of a participator. I see how this is.
Who wouldn't want to live in Myrtle Beach at one of the luxury homes, right?
Exactly. But before we get in, I think, to the luxury home market tonight, I think we need to first talk about late breaking news that I've heard in just this last week.
Yeah.
And you, I think you know where I'm going, but let me pull up an article here to kind of, wrong button. I'm out of practice with this, everyone. You got to work with me here while I get the right button. Let's see, this one. Maybe this one will do what we want. Oh, they changed things. Oh, that's right. Hold on. I got to click the right button. That'll help, won't it? Let's do this. And then we'll click that. There we go. Now we're getting to where we want to be. So this is an article that came out from Housing Wire last week. That Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are making some major changes to the mortgage market for second homes. And in fact, if you weren't here, if you had been about another 2 minutes, Erica, I was going to play this video for everyone. But since you're here, I don't need to play the video. You can kind of explain to everyone what's going on. So let me kind of set up a premise here for everyone.
Okay.
Last week on January 5th, right around there, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac decided that they're going to make some changes to the way people buy second homes. I think they need to start making back some money. And so one of the things that they discussed and that's coming is some major changes to the interest rates on second home purchases. And so with this happening, we're going to start to see some major changes coming in. And Erica, what I want you to do is kind of explain to everyone what to expect with these changes. What's coming down the road?
Absolutely. So the good news is, guys, if you are looking to purchase a second home, you could not ask for a better time, because all of this should really roll out sometime in March, even early April. They're giving us a window, right? So basically what's going to happen is secondary home loan interest rates are going to really parallel investor rate home loans. So pricing is going to go up, and we've all gotten so spoiled. You've got to admit it, spoiled with these very, very low interest rates. So a second home in the past, it's been the same interest rate as a primary residence. You heard me. So rates have been super low, right? They've even been under 3%. And now they're slowly creeping up some, but still historic lows. And so right now, I think Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, they've just, really started to understand right now, second homes, sure, you enjoy them a little bit, right? But most people, they're going to rent it out. They're going to do VRBO, they're going to get some sort of supplementary income. And so that's why, we are making these changes into the interest rates. So, for after March, April, you should be looking at, higher threes, low 4%. And it used to be, you can still do 10% down on a second home. But honestly, with the price adjustments, you're much better off doing 20-25% down on a second home, if at all possible. And does anybody have any questions about that, or, want to talk through that a little bit more?
Yeah, it's going to be a big, big deal. And, I was pulling this up here. I wanted to show this to people. This is just simple Google mortgage calculators to kind of give you an idea. So if we were to, let me make it a little bit bigger for people to see here. Well, maybe it will, maybe it won't. Okay. So if you do a $300,000 mortgage, and like you said, rates are right now in the low threes. So I just put in 3.25 because it's fairly close to what going rates are right now. Okay. So you're looking at a mortgage payment of $1,306 a month. If that goes just from 1306 goes from 325 to 4%, you're averaging an additional $130 a month of payment. If you take that, and I'm no mathematician here, but if I take 130 times 360, that's $50,000 basically right there that you're paying.
It adds up quickly.
So it's going to be a big, big difference. One of the things that I shared in my video that I did the other day and pushed out is, personally for me, we know interest rates are coming. We know they're going to go up. And for me personally, I'd rather put $10,000 to $15,000 in an individual seller's pocket rather than an extra $50,000 to $100,000 in a bank's pocket. I mean, the bank already has all the money. Why do I need to give them more?
Right.
That's just me. But anyway, let's see. Does anybody jump in here? Rocco is watching tonight. Rocco Rock. I kind of like that. Rocco Rock.
I know. That's a great name.
From Fayetteville, North Carolina. Always love your insight. Thank you, Rocco, for joining us tonight. Where's everybody else? I see there's about 8 to 10 people that have already joined in. Tell us in the comments where you're from tonight. And, we're going to get into some fun stuff, I think. I always enjoy the eye candy type videos. And I would say tonight is probably one of my favorite eye candy ones that I enjoy doing, where we get to kind of live the lavish life of buying those multi-million-dollar homes. And I always like to do this at the beginning of the year, is kind of look back at the year before and the luxury market and see what's going on. So I'm going to pull this up here. Let's go back to here. I don't like that one. Let's go to this one. There we go. That's better. And let's see if I can make this to get a little bit larger. It doesn't want to let me do that today. Oh, well. Well, here is right now. What I did is I pulled up in our MLS everything that has sold in 2021 that was over $1 million. And Erica, it's crazy to see how many are on the list, but in comparison to other parts of the country, we're so affordable.
Absolutely.
So in Horry and Georgetown County and in our MLS, basically there were only 330 homes to sell over the purchase price of $1 million last year. That's pretty crazy to me to think that that's it.
Absolutely.
But, not a lot of properties selling for over that price. Now, the fun thing, which I want to look at, is in comparison to other years. I remember looking at this last year. That number was like 150. So we're seeing a lot more luxury property selling. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that pricing has gone up so much this last year. I read an article, I believe it was from Redfin, stating that the average price appreciation across the country was 15.6%.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, try to make that in the market, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Let's see. Some other people joining in here. Let's see. John's joining in from snowy, cold New Jersey. Appreciate your videos. It makes me think of the day I can retire to Myrtle Beach. John, you can do it sooner than you think.
I was going to say, John, you need to get your second home now for the transition, right?
There you go. And you can enjoy the wonderful weather. Although I have to say, right now here in Myrtle Beach, this is the time of year, and I don't know about you, Erica, but this is the time of year where the weather just drives me nuts. Because it doesn't know if it wants to be summer, whether it wants to be spring, fall, or winter. I mean, yesterday I looked in my car and I think the temperature was 72 or 73 degrees. And then I saw that like tonight it's supposed to be down to 28.
It's wild. Yeah.
I
laid out in our backyard. I think it was last weekend and same thing. And I'm like, wait, now it's cold.
I remember on New Year's Day, the beaches were packed.
Yes.
I saw a picture that Ed Piotrowski shared, which in Ed we trust, as always. And he was showing a picture of the beach where there was like hundreds and thousands of people. It would have made you think it was spring break with the amount of people that were down there. And then like the next day, it was 30 some degrees again. So we're in that kind of crazy time where it could be winter at 7 a.m., spring by lunchtime, summer by 3, and back to winter by 5 or 6 again. Let's see who else is joining in here today. John, I'm sorry, though. I feel your pain with the snow. How many inches do you have up there right now? I wonder. My wife's dropped in. She said, is the one I like over on 39th Avenue and Ocean Boulevard going to make... I don't know if it's on there, honey, but we're not buying an oceanfront house today. Sorry. But if we do, I know somebody who will do the mortgage for us.
I was going to say.
Yep.
Come talk to me, Catherine.
No. Shh. You're not helping this. All right. David says, I'm watching from freezing Michigan. We want to move to South Carolina, Conway area specifically. Conway's a great spot, David, and there's a lot of, I tell people all the time, you're going to get a whole lot more house for the land as you go out towards Conway. The one thing, though, that you definitely want to do is make sure that you're picking in areas of Conway that did not have floodwater problems. And I can definitely help you with that. And any property that you're looking at, make sure you're checking those property disclosures and seeing if it has flooded or if it requires FEMA flood insurance or those types of things on any of those properties. But the sections of Conway with flooding, this is a small little section in a great big area for the reality of it all. Let's see who else. Oh, there's Cindy. Hey, Cindy. Cindy bought a nice condo for me over at River Oaks.
Nice.
Nice. Cindy, you ready to sell that condo and move to a luxury home? We can do that. Let's do it. So Well, let's get into some of these properties. And guys, while we're doing this, if you have questions about the luxury market, Myrtle Beach, or anything mortgage related, please just drop them in the comments. And Erica and I will do our best to answer them as we go through. And, if you want to learn more about that whole second home market and what's going on there with that, ask them. She is by far the expert on this subject, and that's why I wanted her on tonight to help answer those questions. So let's go back to here. Take Cindy away. Actually, let's just go here. We don't need to be on the screen right now to look at these. All right, and we're going to go over here to this one. So here are the top 20 homes to sell in 2021. The coming in, should we do it from least expensive, Erica, to most? I think that would be more fun, don't you?
Absolutely.
All right, well, let's do that. So at number 20 on the list is down in one of my favorite communities, Depew Colony.
Very nice.
And this is a 4-bedroom, 5.5 bath house, 4,675 heated square feet, and 9,000 square feet under roof. That is a huge house. Wow. That is really, really big. And just so people kind of know, the house was listed at $2.7 million and sold for $2.5 million. But let's look at some pictures. So there's the front of it. And that's all we have. It probably did. It sold before it ever went to the MLS. So we'll go on. It's okay. The next one on our list is 1006 North Ocean Boulevard in North Myrtle Beach. It was listed at $2.9 million and sold for $2.6 million. It was a whopping 4,600 heated and 6,200 under roof. Let's take a look at some of these pictures. This is on the beach, so this should be either on the beach or second row. I think it might be second row, but I'm not sure. There's the front of it. Nice loft upstairs looking down. Oh, no, it is
on the beach. It looks like it.
Look at that beach view right there. That's what everybody wants to buy them for. That right there, folks, is the reason why. Nice open hardwood floors. Kind of more of a contemporary look. I like it. Interesting choice. I don't know if you can see it too well, but the doors are painted dark blue. It's kind of a interesting little...
Yeah, beachy vibe. Nautical, I guess.
Yes. Okay, well, and that's cool too. And this is something, Eric, I don't know if you've seen, because I know you look at a lot of design stuff too, but I've noticed in a lot of houses over the last few months and years, people putting in an accent color on their islands. Have you noticed that?
I do, yes. In fact, our house has an accent color on ours.
So it's a nice large island with the range built in it, the microwave underneath. They have one of those nice farm sinks over there, it looks like. Very nice looking. And look at that. You can stand here and cook and look straight out into the water. Now that's probably my favorite feature so far that I've seen. I would really want to be cooking some good meals then.
And that you can do.
So some bedrooms. Okay, there you go. Funny. Nice tile shower. The nice vanity. They're into painting these blue doors. I think they like that nautical theme going on. Then there's a bedroom that has a porch, it looks like, to look out to the beach. Nice tile. Pretty nice house, but I want to see, get me to the beach.
The best part.
Show me the beach. That right there, yeah. We could just sit right there all day or swim right there all day and see the beach. Nice. And this is up in North Myrtle Beach. So, our first one in North Myrtle. Let's see what's next. Oops, wrong way. Go the other way, Jeremy. Oh, that's way out in the middle of nowhere. We're not going to worry about that. That's Mcclellanville. I bet you this house probably has a bunch of acres. Let's see. 75 acres
Wow.
on the house. So you're getting a lot of land with that one. We're going back to Debadoo on this one. 4-bedroom, 4.5 bath, 4,200. And it looks like this one's on the ocean as well. Yep. So from what I'm seeing, Erica, the oceanfront market that used to be $1 million to $1.5 million seems to now push up to about 2.5 on these properties. But that's a killer view right there to sit and
Yes, it
see all the
is.
time. I could handle that. Let's see what else. Is anything unique that pops out? Let's look at the kitchen. Nice looking kitchen as well. Blues. A lot of blues again. People like the blue. Let's see here. This is down in Pawleys Island on Myrtle Avenue. A 6-bedroom, 6.5 bath house. This one sold for $2.75 million. Now let's see the front of this. This is a nice raised beach home.
That's very nice.
Although it doesn't look like it has much parking, but these lots are usually not very wide, so you can't have a whole bunch anyway. Let's look and see what the pictures are. Where's our beach? It's kind of looking back at it. Not bad. Oh, this is one that I think has the marsh as well. Okay, yeah. So you can have your boat probably docked out here and then the beach on the other side. Not a bad way to live.
No. Do some crabbing and fishing.
I'm all for that. Let's see here. David dropped a comment. Let's see what David said. We're hitting a roadblock when it comes to obtaining a mortgage because we do not have employment there. We would have a nice down payment, but still not enough to pay cash for a home. Any tips? Erica, this is all you, my dear. Let me find you, throw you up here on the screen, take us off so they can actually see your face.
Sure.
And I'll let you answer that one.
No, absolutely. So, David, a lot of our clients and buyers, they're in that same position. And that's why, especially in our market, the second home, labeling a mortgage as a second home has been such a great option because basically with the secondary residence, we would use your income, where you currently are. We would also have to count, your if you have a mortgage payment and your primary residence, we would have to count that as a debt. But as long as you could qualify with both housing payments, easily we could do it as a second home. And again, to get the best interest rate, we need to have that done, before these interest rates rise. Another option too, there's all sorts of ways that we can help you if, depending on your age and assets, if you have pensions or IRAs, what we can do is set up a distribution. That distribution can be turned off right after closing, but we could set up a distribution to qualify you and make this your primary residence. And then you could, sell your other primary residence once you made the move here. So that's a second option. Another option is you could label this as an investment property, again, to help with the transition. And the benefit of labeling it as an investment property is it really helps with qualifying. So when we get the appraisal done, they will also do an appraisal, if you will, or a rental schedule on what the projected rental income is for, a property such as the one you're buying and around the market. And we will give you 75% of whatever that average is to count towards income. So basically, I'm just going to, make up numbers here. If they said average rental income is $1,000, then we would give you income of $750, to help wash out that additional debt. So anything like that, we just really need to look at, all factors, look at you individually and see what would be the best option for you. But yeah, there's definitely plenty of ways to accomplish that.
Awesome. Yeah, I knew you'd have some good answers, and that's some excellent advice on it. The other thing too, David, that I always share with people is this. sometimes you may not have the same, your job may not allow you to work here, but if you work as, for example, an auto mechanic and you move to an auto mechanic down here, you can qualify quicker. You may have to find a place to rent for a month or two to start to get those paychecks coming in with your job here. But you can sometimes do that as well, right, Erica?
That's correct. Yeah, absolutely. So if it's the same line of business, it depends on how you're going to be paid here. If you're hourly, and again, same line of business, we would just need to show 30 days of a pay history to ensure that you're working full time, and then we can close. Or if it is a true salary guaranteed income, then we would just need that employment contract, and there's no waiting period.
Yeah, because we actually we have one right now that you're doing for one of my clients, and he worked for BMW and came down
Yes.
here, and he's now been in his job for 30 days, and we're closing. Let's see,
Soon, like in 3 weeks,
like
maybe.
3 weeks. Yeah, it's real soon. You were talking though a minute ago about investment property, David. Hopefully that answers your question. If you have follow up, please drop them in the comments, or you can always reach out to me or Erica, and we can help answer them however you want as well. But you were talking about rental income, which I found this next property on our list. And this property, wow, it is a 7-bedroom, 5.5 bath home down in Garden City. But I looked at the comps on this, and they said that they expect that this home could have a rental income of $225,000 a year. So, Erica, I think I need to write up this house today.
There's Catherine's house, right?
Hey, honey, if you're still watching, we've got our house. We're doing this one right here. We got the pool for the kids.
Oh my goodness!
Like a resort underneath. It doesn't look like a house. Wow. But yeah, $225,000 rental income. So this is our first kind of quote investment property on the list. But it's interesting. This one was listed at 2.799 and it sold for 2.799. So and I bet you it didn't last very long. Let's see, when was it list days on the market? Like 45 days. So it did not last long at all.
That's the beauty too. Yes, some things have tightened up because of COVID on the lending world, but they've also loosened up in a way that, it makes sense. If you're truly buying this for an investment property, and we can confirm the projected rental income and there's a history there, it's pretty much guaranteed income. And that's why, we can use that. And it definitely helps you to be able to make these investments and to make a higher purchase.
There we go. It's for some reason now it's starting to, let me see if I can blow this up some, because I know it's probably really hard for you to read any of the stuff. Oh, they changed. There we go. Is that a little bit easier to read now?
That's a little bit better.
I know you're probably like, Jeremy, this is nice. We can't read anything. David said, thanks for the info. And Gretel says it's super cold in New Jersey. I'm sorry, although I have to say it's cold here tonight. We're probably going to have to turn the heat on in the house. But, it was 70 yesterday. But anyway, this house, like I said, was 7 bedrooms, 5.5 baths. So let's go on, see what's that one. That was down in Garden City. One of the things too that I wanted to talk about a second. Let's just sidebar for a minute here on this. One of the people that I spoke to the other day, they said, we want to buy a home in the area and we want to buy an Airbnb the house. And I tried to explain to them that you really can't do a single family house as an Airbnb because you can't rent them by the weeks. Unlike other parts of the country where they allow that kind of stuff. Like I know when we went to Portland, Oregon to visit my brother-in-law, we stayed in a small home that we could rent for the week from Airbnb, and it was no big deal, and they allow it. But here in Myrtle Beach, first off, homeowners associations prohibit it a lot, and then different parts of the cities, they prohibit it as well. They don't want weekly rentals happening everywhere because if it does, it turns it from being a place people live and enjoy with a tourist town to just rentals everywhere with all kinds of craziness. It would be, I think, kind of more like the Wild West if that kind of thing happened. So you can do Airbnbs, but it needs to be in small select areas. And like I was sharing with them, the one I sold earlier this year was $700,000. So, have the checkbook ready because they're higher priced properties, and usually they're going to be either on the beach, right across the street, or within 1 block of it. Not something, well, I can afford $400,000, so as long as I'm close to 17, I'm good. Those aren't going to really hardly ever qualify. So anyway, let's jump back in here. And guys, if you have questions while we're going through this, please put them in the comment box, and we will answer them. I guarantee it. We will do our best at it. All right, so the next house on our list here is back down in Pawleys Island, right there on Myrtle Avenue again. Another 5-bedroom, 4-bath. And once again, we're back on the beach. And this house was listed for $2.9875 and sold for $2.8 cash.
Wow.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Erica, can I borrow $2.8 million?
I wish I had that.
But yeah, this one once again sits on the beach and then has, let me show this picture because it kind of shows it better. So these houses sit on the ocean, then there's the road, and then you usually own land on the other side, which gets you out into the marsh as well. And go do your crabbing, all that kind of fun stuff over there. JR said, wow. Yeah, I kind of say the same thing. But, I'm looking at some of the pictures of this home. This home is a little more dated. When you see the wood paneling in it and those kind of tan, mauvish, peachy tiles, that says to me house built in the mid 2000s. Which now
thinking that
which is now dated, as scary as it sounds.
I know. With having that being right on the ocean and then having that access again to the marsh. I mean, I know you would know much better than I would. What just the land alone, what would that be, Jeremy, do you think?
Well, with the way the market has been, I bet you the piece of dirt alone is $1 million plus.
Yeah, I would think so too.
I know that back many, many years ago, there was a piece down in the Golden Mile section on the second row for $800,000 then.
Yeah.
So this house is even dated at that
It
price.
is.
Okay, we're going to Myrtle Beach. This is up in one of those sections that I like, and right up there in the Dunes Club. So this is right up near you, Erica.
I know that house.
You know the house.
I know that house.
Well, good. Tell us about this house.
Obviously, it sold recently. There's a small section in the Dunes Club. Clearly, that's right there on it. That's directly onto the beach. And I'd say there's probably only 14, 15, available houses that are oceanfront in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful. Obviously, it's more residential. It's not there in a Garden City with all the tourists. So if it's primary residence, absolutely, it's a wonderful neighborhood.
Yeah, it's very private area back in there. And plus then you have access to the Dunes Club right around the corner as well, which is phenomenal.
It is. Our preteens love being able to go to the Dunes Club and think they're adults and get a bunch of junk food.
I'm sending my kids over now.
I know.
Just I won't send Jeremiah because then you'd have quite the tab with him. So this is another one in Myrtle Beach, and they decided to do the Walmart pricing at $2.9999999. That's what I call, instead of just saying it's $3 million. But it listed at 2.999, sold for 2.875. A cash buyer again.
There you go.
Goodness, 4,800 square feet, and I think I've seen this house before. It's been for sale several times over the years. I've seen it.
Yes, that
Yes.
was a client of mine. He recently sold it. It is absolutely stunning.
Wow. Wow. Textured walls.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Look at all that woodwork.
I know. It's
That
incredible.
there's an absolute fortune
Mm-hmm.
right there in all of that woodwork for the house. That's impressive.
Very. So I remember. I'm from here. I remember when that home was built. You know, it was the talk of the town. It's just absolutely gorgeous. A lot of hard work went into that home.
But I want to see what kind of view does it. And if I remember, doesn't it have like a? Yeah, I was gonna say
Mm-hmm.
it has the backyard too to go with it.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I think it has another like a guest suite as well, if I'm not mistaken.
It looks like there's something right there as well. Wow.
I know.
Oh man, I could be doing some cooking right there.
Why would you want to sell that house?
I can't answer that question. Especially with that view right there.
I know.
Goodness.
So for right under $3 million, you can get right on the beach, totally customized.
Yeah, this is right on the Golden Mile too.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. It's pretty amazing.
Right under $3 million. Wow.
Here's another one that was just up the street from it.
Mm-hmm.
That was $2,995,000, and this one sold for $2.875 as well. Another cash deal. Imagine that. So in 3 houses, we've seen $6-7 million. Actually, probably closer to about $8.5 million in 3 homes. But wow, look at the pool on that one. That looks more like an amenity center pool than a house. Wow. I got to show this picture. This looks pretty amazing too. Wow.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, I mean, there's a fortune in this house. Gorgeous. Sit there and look out, and you're dining out to the beach. I think I could handle that.
I know.
This one is on, somebody asked what avenue is it on? It's on 45th Avenue.
Okay.
So 4504 North Ocean Boulevard. But it also has still a lot of that classic wood in it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when we first moved to the beach, we looked at a home over here on Golden Mile section, and it was amazing. I think it was like 650, maybe 700,000 for it back then.
Wow.
And that was back in, what was it, 1998, 99, something like that.
Jeez.
Let's see here.
You couldn't get anything in that price range now on Golden Mile.
You couldn't find hardly anything east of 17.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see. We have some questions coming in here. Angelo says, what's up with Myrtle Beach crime rate being so high? Angelo, unfortunately, I cannot talk on that due to fair housing laws. We're not allowed to discuss that. Eric, I think you're prohibited from it as well, are you not?
Yes, I would just look in, we're certainly a tourist town. So definitely, do some research around that, summertime.
Yeah. And then David Boucher. You're going Boucher. Sounds more fancy. Is Castlewood subdivision in a flood zone? No, Castlewood did not have any flooding issues. It is a Conway address, but it is on the border of Myrtle Beach. There's not really any close rivers or waterways or anything nearby to cause flooding there. There may be some water in the subdivision, probably some ponds and retaining ponds. The thing that I always share is this with people. All of Myrtle Beach, all these developments have to have some sort of place to catch the water. Because when we get to the summertime, we can easily have in the summer a shower come and drop in an hour's time, 1.5 inches of rain. And so all this heavy, severe rain's coming down and all at one time, and it needs a place to go. So all the developments are building in retention ponds that the water drains off the street, goes into these retention ponds and sits there. And larger subdivisions will have multiple ponds that are all connected together. So like, for example, my wife and I, we lived down in Cameron Village, and Cameron Village had 5 ponds. And then when they opened the next section, they put the 6th pond in, and that number 6 had just a slightly higher elevation than the others. So when it rained heavy, the water never went to that one to balance everything out and drained out. And that's why we would run into some issues there with water on the streets in that subdivision. They since have corrected the problem, they say, as well as where it drains out into the main roads and out to the waterway behind it. And so it has fixed that issue. But like, I live over in the farm at Carolina Forest right now, and we have multiple ponds throughout there. Never seen any issues with it. But it's interesting. You can watch those ponds, and on that day when that heavy rain comes, it's not uncommon to see them go up 4, 5, 6 inches in an hour and a half time. So, but they do their job pretty well. Let's see here. Yep. Sorry, Angelo. We can't do it. So that's interesting. Somebody else there, Michael's answering your question. I can't tell you if he's right or wrong, but there's an answer from Michael. So I can tell you this: the city population of Myrtle Beach, which is the city limits, is right around 36,000. We have several 100,000 though that live in the county, and we have millions who visit each year on vacation. So take that all into account. Anyway, moving on. Here's another one going back to our houses. And thank you for the questions. I'd love to answer it for you, Angelo, but I can't. Legally, I could get in trouble, and so could Erica with it. But thank you for asking. Keep the questions coming, guys. All right, so back to our list here. Here we go. We're in Debadew again. A 5-bedroom, 4 full baths and 2 half baths home in Debadew. And this one was $2.95 million and sold for $2.95 million. It got a loan though. Our first in a while with a mortgage happening. And let's see here what kind of pictures it has. Oh, it looks like it's a new construction. Oh, wow. So if you wanted to have that new construction beach home, and we're kind of wondering what would it cost to do down in Debadew, there's your answer. Just under $3 million. All right, Angelo asked another question. This one I can answer, Angelo. Are you allowed to put 6-foot fences? It depends on where you are. If you're in a non-HOA and there's no city rules against it, yes, you can put it up. If you have a homeowners association, you'd have to look into the covenants and restrictions for that HOA to see what they state. Usually if they allow it, they will allow you to put up fences on lots that are not on a pond. If your lot though is on a pond, they usually want you to have a 4-foot open so that you can see out to the water and that it's accessible to water instead of everyone just seeing white fences everywhere on it. But a lot of neighborhoods will allow you to put up that 6-foot privacy. What I can tell you is this: if you have a smaller yard, and what I've been told, I don't have this, so I can't say it's a fact, but if you have a smaller yard, put up that 6-foot fence all around the back of the house, it basically becomes like an oven in that backyard and gets super, super hot. So, Erica, do you know the Students Club allow you to put 6-foot fences up?
Believe it or not, we have an optional HOA, which is so bizarre and rare, but so I'm sure you could.
There you go. There you go. Teresa says, long term, what do you think of property values in Pawleys Island? It doesn't seem like there's much left to develop down there. There's not. It's kind of like inside Myrtle Beach proper. There's not a lot left to develop. and the stuff that is being developed is much more expensive. A lot of it goes by location. Close to the beach, you can expect it to cost more. It's a fact. That's the way it is. And when they run out of land, then it's going to become more expensive for this few small pieces that are left. Pawleys Island is very strong market, just like up in Myrtle and North Myrtle. It's interesting what I have found over the years, Erica, is that prices in Myrtle Beach usually are not as expensive as, per se, North Myrtle Beach or Pawleys. Now, if you go outside the city limits of Myrtle Beach, it's definitely a big difference. So, like, for example, a house inside Myrtle Beach city limits might be $550,000. You bring it over to Carolina Forest, that house is $350,000. You go to Conway, that house is $250,000. You go to Murrells Inlet, $300-ish, and Pawleys Island probably back $450 to $500 as well, or even more, depending on what part of it. So
that's always been surprising to me, especially being from here, that North Myrtle Beach is typically higher priced.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. Maybe it's just because
it's
good old Myrtle Beach native.
I don't know. Is Carolina Forest Horton Homes? No. So let me explain this, because I had this question the other day. Carolina Forest is a section of Myrtle Beach. It's not an actual zip code. It's not an actual city or anything like that. It is just a section of land. And let me just, we're going to take a little sidestep here a minute. Let me pull up a map a minute. And we'll pull this up, and we're going to go back over here. Give me just a second, guys. I'll just get this set up.
That's great of you to do this. Grand Strand is 80 miles. We just, it's such a big area, and we've got all these little subsections.
Yeah, exactly.
So different.
And a lot of people don't quite understand it. So let's bring this up here a minute. So if we look at this map, let me just turn off your comment, Angela, so you can kind of see it. So over here at the beach, you have Myrtle Beach. Over here, you have Conway. So Myrtle Beach obviously was the first section of the area that kind of got developed up. After a while, then, people went to Conway and started to build up. But in the middle here, in this section called Carolina Forest, which was in the middle, used to be owned by International Paper. International Paper has a paper mill way, way down here. If I drag the map, way down here in Georgetown sits their plant. And they used to come cut the trees down, go take them down there to the plant to make the paper. Well, over time, they started to sell off that land in Carolina Forest, and this became developments. There are about probably 30 to 40 subdivisions throughout all of Carolina Forest. Some are D.R. Horton built, some are Pulte, some are built by Beezer, some were built by Lennar, and then there are several sections as well, like Waterford Plantation, Waterbridge, Plantation Lakes, Carolina Waterway, Waterway Palms, the Bluffs on the Waterway, and Boardwalk on the Waterway, which all were basically custom-built home developments. And so this section through here is several miles wide and has a whole bunch, if I can kind of get the map to work with me here, along this, as we look here, here's Carolina Forest Boulevard that runs down through the middle of it, and there's subdivisions all over it on each side as we go through there. So hopefully that kind of answers that question a little bit. But it's the 29579 zip code. And Erica, I don't know if you've heard about it, but in time, I kind of think what you're going to see is Carolina Forest becoming its own city. I think you're going to see, because we need to have our own police station over here, I think. And, there's talks of maybe a courthouse coming over this way. And so I think in time you might see Carolina Forest become its own city from, the county section of Myrtle Beach.
That makes
Um,
sense.
Angelo also asked, does HOAs give you problems with large dogs? No. I have a 45-pound yellow lab, and right now my mother's dog has been with us for about 4 months because she had knee surgery, and that dog's about 65 to 70 pounds. No problems at all with them. When it comes to single-family homes, they don't really bother you with it. Sometimes when you get into condo complexes, they may have some rules on the number of dogs or a few breeds. A few of them do prohibit, but those are not the normal in our area, at least. Let's see here. JR says that makes sense. Carolina Forest is so dense. It is pretty dense, for sure, to say the least. But good stuff. Good stuff. All right, let's jump back here. Oh, somebody else asked a question. Who was it? Are there any areas in Myrtle Beach that can have livestock? Yes. Out towards the country, you, I believe, can do that stuff. I know my brother had a home at one point, which was on the map out here. Oh, come on, map, cooperate. Right here off of Highway 90. He had a home right about in here, and he had chickens at his house. Inside it has to obviously be in an area that does not have a homeowners association. They're not going to allow you to have livestock or goats or that kind of stuff there. So, all right. Let's go back and look at the houses again. If you have more questions, keep them coming. Good stuff we're having here. Did we look at this house? I think we did. Yes, we looked at that one. Let's go on here to the next. Back to Garden City. Wow.
10 bedrooms.
This looks like a compound. We just got to look at this picture, man. Wow. That is a lot of land and even a lot more in concrete at that house.
Jeremy, we can't see the screen.
Oh, thank you.
There you go.
Is that better?
That is a compound.
Yeah.
Oh, that is oh my gosh. Famous Dolly Parton I think that was the house that she built in Garden City.
Yep, it's in Garden City.
Yes.
Look at that. We bring in you for this kind of info.
All the fun facts, right?
Insider info.
Mm-hmm.
It is a 5-bedroom, 6-bath house with a attached 3-car garage.
I'm almost positive. I can't tell, but yeah, the one she built way back in the day, it looks like that. It was just a ton of privacy and acreage.
It was built in 1990 is when this house was built.
Go.
And it sold for $3,101,000
to have Dolly Parton's home.
It was listed for $2.995. So this one actually went over asking. Imagine that. We haven't seen anything go over asking down here. It's being sold as is at the same time, right?
Yeah.
But wow, look at how much.
That is the house.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
You could have like a whole southern party out there.
I know.
That is amazing.
Some good times.
I can see why they're selling it as is. There's the famous 90s green carpet.
Right.
And I never quite understood this. When houses were built back in this time period, they put this wall right here that you come in the door and then there's a wall there just so you could put a fake fireplace on the other side.
Because we need it in Myrtle Beach. We need that heat.
Yeah. But how about that green carpet? Who loves that green carpet? If you love it, tell me how much you love it. I gotta hear. Wow. So somebody bought this for $3.1 million and is probably going to drop another $300,000 or $400,000 in it just to get it updated to whatever needs to be done.
Yeah, and the kitchen definitely needs it.
What's wrong with that kitchen? It sees the beach.
You are a chef. I know that you would need a better kitchen than that.
We can go bowling in the kitchen.
That's true.
How long that thing is. Goodness. And look, we can store 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rolls of toilet paper, paper towels in the pantry at one time and still have room for at least another 5 to 10. But wow, that's a lot. It's more, this one was definitely more jaw-dropping from the outside just because of the sheer size. But as I look at this more and more, I just think how much I'm going to have to spend to update that.
Absolutely. Gorgeous lot, though.
Yeah, for sure. All right, before we jump into this one, let's go back here to our questions a minute. Let's see here. We already answered that one. My wife says that some areas in Forest Brook area allows for livestock as well. So there you go, Gretel. That answers that question for you. They're relocating and have a few chickens. Hey, we can find a house for chickens too. I can find you a chicken coop if need be. Just let me know. We'll do it. What builders do you recommend? I really like the Horton Homes. They're all pretty much about the same. I live in a D.R. Horton home. I would say D.R. Horton is probably the biggest builder down here right now in our area. So they usually have the most options of product available in the most locations across the beach. Lennar has some decent spots in the area. Same with Pulte, same with Beezer. And then we have smaller builders like Beverly Homes. There's Toll Brothers that's coming to the area. There's another new one that I don't remember the name of them, but they're like Zarayo or something like that that's coming in. We had a smaller one, RealStar, that just recently was bought by Lennar. But I think D.R. Horton does a good product. I look at the big builders usually as the ones I have more trust in because I know they're going to be around for the long haul. And, to me, when I buy a house, I don't look at it just as the house, but also the warranty that comes with it. When you buy a new construction home, you kind of get warranties. And, actually one of the things, guys, that I'm probably going to do in the near future is bring on one of the new home sales representatives I work with, and they can kind of explain to you some of the benefits of new home construction and why you may want to think about buying one of those right now, as well as kind of what the headaches are of trying to do one at the moment, because the whole process is very fluid right now and changes by the day. But like I said, I live in a D.R. Horton home myself. I really enjoy it, and I think they build a great product for sure. Gretel says her chickens are her pets. My brother used to get eggs. He'd go out and get them every day from his. For a second home, have you prefer a condo or a single family home? Thanks. Good question. It's definitely a lot depends on what you want to do with the property. If you're going to use it strictly as a second home, you're going to come and visit, and then when you're not here, it's not used for anything. Single family homes are great for that. If you're wanting to use it where you can come and stay at the place for a couple months of the year, and when not here, rent it out to make income, you're going to be limited on the single family homes that fit that mold really these days. However, some people say condos, no thanks. I don't want to do that. Instead, what might be an option for you is going with something like a semi-detached home where, let me just go back here a minute I'm going to just sidebar for a second, and let me just pull these up to show you. This might be something as kind of an option for you if you want kind of the benefits of not having to do yard work and all that stuff, and at the same time not have to do it. Well, there's none available. Let's just pull up the sold ones right now. Just so I can show you one here quick. This is what I'm talking about when I say a semi-detached. These are going to be homes that are 4 to 5 units usually connected together. They have a garage with them, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. Usually they're about 15 to 1600 square feet. And, they have a 2-car garage. So you get kind of the benefits of the garage for storage and space, which down here you do not have basements. So you need that for storage of things, but you don't have to worry about taking care of the upkeep. If you go with the second home thing, with a single family, then you just have to find someone to take care of your yard and maintenance like that. When you go, though, with like this type of property that I'm showing on the screen here, and just so you can see, let me turn the comment off. Your monthly HOA fee here is $315 a month. So then that's going to hit you with that expense as well. So hopefully that answers your question, Mark. If you have more about it, please just let me know. Tell them about it, the theater, and why Dolly Parton needed a home here. Honey, thank you. I'm so glad we have her here.
I know.
Erica, why don't you tell them about it?
Not that I could. I just remember when. Oh my gosh, what is it, Dolly? It is the Dolly Parton Theater, isn't it? Mm-hmm. What is? Okay. Yep. I was like, it can't be that obvious, and it is, right?
The Dixie Stampede.
Dixie Stampede. She opened up her own theater here, and I was back in high school when all this happened. I remember I was so excited to go to the opening and get to see the Dolly Parton in person. So she came down here, and at the time, that's when she built that beautiful house that unfortunately just hasn't been kept up. And hopefully everybody knows who Dolly Parton is, the famous country singer and actress.
I hope so. I think just about everyone's probably heard of her by now if you're at least over 20 years of age.
Right.
Let's see, what else is here? Is the second home option risky? I'll let you answer that because I think David's asking you about that for purchasing while still owning his home up there.
No, of course, everybody's situation is, we have to take a look at everything and just make sure that this is, that you feel comfortable with it, that it's not, too much of a stretch as far as your debt to income and being able to, make that payment and just feel good and really get to enjoy it as a true second home or vacation home. And what we'll do, David, to ensure that is, I'll go through your credit report, your income, and just kind of give you that ease to go over your monthly debts and say, hey, this mortgage payment would be $1,500 a month or however much, and just make sure, of course, that you qualify for it and you feel good about it, but there's absolutely no risk involved. That's what lending is all about, and just it's protecting you and protecting your financial well-being and future. So and the only thing, again, interest rates are just rising with the second home come March, April. It does not mean that it's still not a great option. It's just the interest rate is going to go up.
Yep. All right, good answer. We're playing Family Feud now. Good answer. How do the prices compare for a new home versus resale in the same neighborhood? So here's what I'll say on this, Vols. The new homes are always going to win out over a resale if there's the two options available, and here's why. The resale is going to try to market their property and say, well, it's like new, so it's worth just as much. It doesn't matter. The minute that somebody walks in the door after closing, it's no longer a new home, and it's now a used product. So those people usually are not going to be able to sell them for quite as much. However, if the market starts to slow down and the builder has inventory sitting around, they're going to drop their prices and take deals and wheel and deal to get things done, because they have to keep that big ball rolling all the time. And so all of a sudden, we're having 15,000 off the houses. Come buy one today. And you're selling yours at $250, and they just said we're taking 15 off of their $260 price. Well, you're now getting brand new for $245 versus you're used at $250. We just can't compete with them. So what I always tell people is this: if you're buying new construction, great. But what you really need to try to plan for and prepare when you do that. If you're wanting to sell it quickly, this market's a little different, but if you're wanting to be able to sell it quickly and make a profit, you need to basically do it for the long haul until the builder's done building in that neighborhood to move on. Now, some of the bigger neighborhoods like the parks at Carolina Forest, or like when they did the farm, those were multi-year projects. Or like Berkshire Forest, they're still building in Berkshire Forest. They've been building in Berkshire Forest since I think I've ever got my license. And so it's 15, 20 years, I feel. So when they're still doing it, then yeah, sometimes you have to sell because you got to move. But just know the builder's going to win 9 out of 10 times when it comes to resales.
That's great advice, Jeremy.
Angela wants to know, how's the Wi-Fi in Carolina Forest? Well, Angela, I'm on the Wi-Fi right now in my office. My Wi-Fi at my house is pretty phenomenal as well. There are basically 2 big carriers here throughout all of Orion, Georgetown County when it comes to your internet. You either have HTC, which is Ori Telephone Co-op, it's the local company, or you're with Spectrum, which used to be Time Warner Cable. Both of them do a pretty decent job. We have decent high speeds. I know at home, my HOA, I have to brag a minute on the farm at a Carolina Forest HOA. I think it's pretty amazing and cool that in our monthly fees, we get cable and high-speed internet, and it's like 400 download speeds included in our HOA for $90 a month.
Can't beat that.
No, not at all. So, all right, let's see here. Mark says, do you now see mortgage rates on a steady climb upward now? How might that affect the market? I'll let you answer part 1 of that, and then if you want me to take over part 2, I'll do that.
That would be great because you are definitely the trusted advisor on the real estate world. Yes, mortgage rates are steadily climbing. The end of last week, they went up, I say a substantial amount. Just we've been so spoiled with these low rates. So they went up about a quarter point, but they did come back down a little bit today. All in all, again, mortgage rates are historic lows, but we do know, as far as the prediction goes, that they're going to steadily rise, and they are estimated to be, in the 4s by third quarter.
And then I would say this in addition to that. This is InfoSparks. This is something our MLS provides to us, which shows us all types of information regarding our current market here in MLS. And what I have on the screen now, which shows from 2008 through basically today, our month's supply of inventory. So you can see back in January 2018, we had 5.7 months of inventory. Anything less than a 6-month supply is considered a seller's market. And you can see it just kind of stayed steady, 5.2, 5.2, 5.3, kind of just kept staying steady, still was steady. And then here comes COVID right there.
Wow.
March of 2020 is where COVID hit.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went to 5.1, 5.49, 4.2, down to where we are today at 1.6 months of inventory.
Wow.
As long as inventory stays low, interest rates are going to continue to go up. Prices are going to continue to go up.
Mm-hmm.
And people are going to continue to buy houses. The biggest difference is this. If the interest rate, like we said earlier, goes from 3.25 to 4, that's an extra $50,000 you're spending on that house.
Yep. I think we all learned through COVID too. It's, life is too short. So many people dream about having a second home or retiring at the beach. If there's a way to do this in the interim, such as the second home or investment property, now's the time. You're going to build appreciation, take advantage of these low rates, and you've got Jeremy to help find you the perfect property.
Yeah. Well, and here's the other thing that I'll just kind of show you quickly. Here's our average purchase price. Exactly the opposite way.
Yeah.
January 2018, that house was 176. Coming up here, where's 2019? Here's 2019. This is when I bought my house.
Wow.
And we're now up to 214, 240, 250 right now. That's everything in our market. So these $1 million homes we're seeing now, plus the more, quote, bread and butter homes that are typical for our area in that 250 to 450 range that people are buying here in the area. So you can see things are going crazy. And it's not, well, the market is slowing down. It's that things are going crazy. Pending sales, you can still see they're going up. Yeah, we had a little bit of a dip. We'll have a little bit of dip showing here. That's just because it's the holidays.
I was just going to ask. I said, that's got to be because it's the holidays.
New listings. You are starting to see a little bit more inventory come out, but we're selling them just as fast as we get them. So anyway, let's jump back in here and get into these few other $1 million properties. So here we go. We're back at the Golden Mile, 3300 North Ocean Boulevard. 7 bedrooms, 6.5 baths. Listed for $3.199 and sold for over asking at $3.2 million. Imagine that. And once again, cash. This is an oceanfront oasis with a guest house. A 6,000 square foot, 7-bedroom resort style property. Gated. Now it's dated.
Wow, it is dated.
But your Golden Mile. I mean, this is probably the most prime piece of dirt you can find in Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's pretty big. Wow. Look how dated that kitchen is.
He should have gotten a mortgage, right? So that he could use the cash for the upgrades.
Yeah, I would say so. But Erica, that brings up a funny point, and I'll talk to you. And we're going to have a little side note here for a minute. I was talking to my wife the other day. We're working through some investing things right now, and getting stuff set for our future, for our retirement, all that stuff. And the investment things that we can do right now, most of the things I'm seeing are in a 5 to 7, 10% rate of return. So why would I want to take all of my cash and buy a house when I can get a mortgage at 3% and continue to get the same product with the mortgage and pay 3% interest rate versus taking my cash out of the investments just so I don't when it's making more here? I'm going to keep it where it's an investment world. Wouldn't that make sense? So,
and it's a tax write-off. I mean, we used to be we still, pay additional towards our principal, but, we've backed off of that because the market is, as you said, it's just making more and more rate of return. And
And that, I mean, we're putting a couple extra $100 a month on the payment, and it's great to see the principal drop down. But like, maybe I need, instead of paying extra $200 to $300 a month on that, I need to take an extra $200 to $300 a month and put it in my investment stuff. And make more. I don't know. I have to look into that some more. But yeah, this house is it is so dated. But I want to see the land. That's what I really want to see. Yeah. So this has a huge piece of land. Show me a picture of the aerial or something. They don't really have one. But look how much land is out here. There is a ton with it.
That's kind of wild, too, on the Golden Mile. That just typically it doesn't exist to have that much land.
Yeah. I mean, look at that lot. That's huge.
We can't see your lot, but...
Oh, dang it. You got it. Yeah.
But we know it's big.
Sorry.
Oh, there you go.
So, sorry, I'm over here looking at pictures and thinking everybody's seeing it, and I'm not.
No.
It's a huge lot.
That is a huge... It almost looks like a double lot, doesn't it?
I bet you it is. But this is on 30... There you go. Yeah, that's definitely got to be. How many acres is it? It says it's 1 acre.
1 acre on the ocean.
In the Golden Mile, basically.
Jeez.
Next, we're going back to Debadoo. We've seen Debadoo before. 6 bedrooms, 8 full baths. Why do I need 8 baths? I don't know.
A lot of children.
No pictures. Back in Pawleys Island. This one was listed for 3.487. I see my wife's telling me too. I see in the comments, we can't see it. Or she didn't text me and say, I can't see it. 6 bedrooms, 6 full baths, and 4 half baths. That's kind of interesting too, 4 half baths. But this one was 3.487 and sold for 3.25. But they did alone.
And jumbo, that's another thing too. We're talking about second home interest rates rising.
Mm-hmm.
We're all talking about what we call jumbo loans, and all these are in the jumbo arena. Interest rates right now are actually lower in the jumbo arena than in conventional. So
interesting.
Even more bang for your buck.
Yeah, definite. As I've gone through this list this year, I think this is the first time in probably the last 4 or 5 years that I've done this, that I have seen this many houses right inside Myrtle Beach city limits on the list. And that's just a testament to our market and what it's doing. But this one was a 4-bedroom, 3 full baths with 2 half bath home on 6502 North Ocean Boulevard. And it was a 5,000 square foot house. And let's see what this one looks like. Oh, look at that. Wow. I could sit out there on that back patio.
That is very pretty.
Mm-hmm. Do you know this one as well?
Yes, I do.
I figured beautiful home.
Yes.
So for anyone who's wondering, updated oceanfront home. This was built. When was it built? Let's look here at the year built. 2013. So this one's fairly updated inside. Big old house. And what's our price again? Let's go back up here. $3.3 million. So you want to have that amazing beach house that's new? 3.3 is what we need to come out with. Here's another one. I bet you know this one too, probably. You seem to know them all around here.
Again, I'm from Myrtle Beach. You know how it is. It's a small town.
This is a 5-bedroom, 5.5 bath. It was listed at $3.447 million. And it sold for $3.5.
Jeez.
Nice saltwater pool.
I might not know this one. I gotta.
The address on this one is 5102 Ocean Boulevard. It was owned in a business name.
5102. Yeah, I gotta see a picture or two. I think it's the same builder as the last house, it looks like.
Well, it said that Derek Mazingo was the architect of the
Gotcha. Okay, then it's not the same builder. He does an excellent job, though. Derek, oh my goodness, he's talented.
I like that bathroom.
Very pretty.
Although, the only thing is I wonder how this tub gets, if it keeps warm with the cold marble around it.
Hey, it could be heated marble, right? Heated floors.
True. My wife told me yesterday, how do you know you've made it? How do you tell someone you've made it without telling them you've made it in the Northeast? When you have a heated driveway to melt the snow away.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Well, that's a beautiful house as well.
It is very pretty.
And we're now down to the top 2.
Ooh, should we do a drum roll?
Well, let's first go see if we have questions.
Okay.
And then we'll go to the top 2. Let's see here. Here we go. This is where I think we were. Angela said, thanks for asking my questions. When I'm ready to make the move, I'll contact you. Awesome. Chris, I know the name of this guy. The rate of my first house was 9%. A 4% rate is still great to live at the beach.
Mhm.
Thank you both for the info. I'm excited to purchase something soon in Myrtle Beach. I wonder if I know that guy.
I was gonna say he knows a great realtor and lender, right?
I think he does. I think he's married to a lender.
That's right. And he knows you.
There you go. Michael asked, did South Carolina and or Myrtle Beach have a rent moratorium during COVID separate from the federal one? Curious how investor friendly the area is.
That's a great question. I have not heard that one.
I don't really know. I do know that when looking at rental incomes for the first part of 2020, that people did see a drop for sure. But, as I shared with people, I spoke to a lady last week and I spoke to a gentleman today. Myrtle Beach in South Carolina is probably one of the most open states in the country. Our governor basically said about a week and a half ago, he's not shutting things down. He's not making a mandate for people to wear masks. And if people don't like it, well, you can leave South Carolina. But, we've been fairly open throughout the whole pandemic. I know, and Erica, you'll remember this phone call. I called you like the first week of it. It was like maybe March 20th, somewhere around there. Freaking out. How am I going to pay my mortgage? How am I going to
I do remember.
The sky is falling. I'm not going to be able to afford anything. I'm not going to be able to do it. What am I going to do? Do I need to sell my house? And you're like, Jeremy, breathe. Calm down for a minute. And literally, I think by the time we finished our phone call, the market that had stopped was back going full speed.
Yeah.
We saw maybe a 2-week slowdown, and the hotels might have been closed for 3 weeks or so in March, April. And then basically everything opened back up for the most part.
Yeah, it was a very short period of time. And again, that's so many people. It's always been their dream to live here, to retire here. And when you realize you can work remotely, hey, why not speed up the process?
Do most investors use cash or mortgage? What percent do they typically put down if lending the cash? Thanks. Good question, Erica.
So on investment properties, you can put down lower than 25%. But honestly, if you've got 25%, I highly recommend it. Interest rates and fees are a lot better. You can put as little as 15% down, but quite honestly, again, I just don't think it makes sense.
Well, and Erica, on investment mortgages as well, you still have the PMI, right?
If you put down more than 20%, no, you wouldn't have it. But at 15%, yep, you've got mortgage insurance and additional cost.
So I would definitely suggest at least doing 20% just to save that. When I refinanced my house, I think the PMI part of my payment was like $160 or $170 a month.
Yeah,
that I dropped out. So if you can do 20% at least, the other thing to look at is you want to put down whatever it is to make your numbers on the investment do what you want. Finding properties here that are going to positive cash flow on the short-term rental market is not an easy thing. There's not a lot of it. Actually, and I spoke to a lady who's an accountant the other day about this, and she basically said to me, I want to invest there. And I said, well, listen, Stacy, here's the deal. Here's what I'll tell you. You can actually probably have a better rate of return doing a long-term rental versus a short-term rental. And she's like, really? I said, yeah. I said, first off, your rental fees are going to be a third or less. When you do that rental property in the oceanfront building, you're looking at a 40 to 50% rental management fee. So if the property's bringing in 30 grand, you're handing 15,000 of it over to the management company right away. And you may say, well, then I'll just put it with VRBO or Airbnb, or I'll do it with somebody else that'll do it for less. The problem is when you take it off the on-site, you lose a lot of that marketing which helps to get the good amount of rental income coming in the door. Plus, in some of the complexes, if you don't have it on their rental program, you do not get to use some of the facilities. So I had a gentleman many years ago who sold some places at the Sand Dunes Resort. And it was great rental income coming in, but he didn't like paying that higher fee. And the people across the street said, "We can do it for you, Tom, for 25%. So he was going to save 10 to 20% a month on his rental income. And he thought that was great. Took it off the market, and the property was rented like 4 weeks of the entire season versus when it was with Sand Dunes, it was rented 98% occupancy. So, and the guests who came lost access to that nice water park that sits out in front of the building.
So less is not always more, right?
Exactly. So, all right, let's see here. Pretty kitchen ceiling, my wife says. We're not buying the oceanfront house this year. No. David says, thanks for answering my questions. Hopefully we'll figure this out, the kinks, and get there soon. David, what I would highly, highly, highly recommend, and Erica, I know we talked about this a couple weeks back. Did you get a nice, easy URL that people can use to get to your application link yet?
I think so. We can try it out with David.
Give me the URL and I'll test it.
Okay. Put it in.
You got to look it up.
Now let's try it.
Oh, she's going to try it. There you go. She'll let us know. But David, what I would highly recommend is going over to Erica's site, and she's going to get you the easy link here in a minute. And while she's doing that, I'll pull this up and just show it to you. So you want to go to Erica's site, and right here, there's a simple button, Apply Now. Just simply click this button and fill out the stuff. It takes about maybe 15, 20 minutes to do the application online. And once you have answers, you can then start to figure out a strategy. I tell people this all the time that are going, well, the what ifs and ifs and buts. Well, this age-old saying, if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas, type of thing. But this way you can figure out what is the best strategy to get you here to the beach, if that's a goal for you, for sure. So
yeah, absolutely. And that's what, you don't know until you take that first step. And I, highly recommend that we can, brainstorm, go over all options, and then you'll be in the best position possible, when you meet with Jeremy and know and feel comfortable with your price range. You can make a solid offer.
Well, and the other thing I would say is this, the big reason people don't want to take that step with you, Erica, well, it's going to affect my credit score.
Right.
If I fill out this form, it's going to affect my credit score. Is it really going to affect my credit score?
No. I mean, you're talking, yes, it is a hard inquiry on your credit report. You're maybe talking like just a few points. But again, you've got to be vigilant. You've got to protect yourselves, and you don't know a solid answer until you go through that process. It's the biggest purchase you'll ever make. You can't guess.
Right. Well, and the thing is this, if your score's in the mid to high sevens, a 5 or 7 point hit for a couple weeks is not going to make that big a deal to it.
No,
now, if you're in the lower end and you're concerned about qualifying with a number high enough to get it, then we may understand a little bit, but still, you're going to have to do it at some point. And if that even is the case where your credit score is too low to qualify, once we know that, Erica can give you and her team, and they've helped many, many people with this, give you some tips, things to do, and a game plan to get that score where you want it to be. Because any and all numbers that we've talked about tonight related to interest rates, it's all dependent upon your credit score.
Right.
Someone who has a credit score at 690 is going to have a very different rate than someone who has a score at 750 or 770. And somebody who's at 660 is definitely going to have a different one. So, there's a lot that goes into it that we can't help you without we can play the guessing game, but we really just need to get into the details. So anyway, Shall we go look at the second most expensive house?
Yes, we got to see it.
I think we should. If anybody has questions, go ahead and ask them. Like I said, here's Erica's site. And Erica, did you get that URL?
I put it in the private chat, but now
let me go grab it.
Let me see. I'm just going to test it out.
I see it.
Yep, when I did that link, it went right to it.
Hold on, there was a typo. There you go.
Yep, I did do a typo in that, didn't I?
It's all good. I'll fix it.
Hey, I'm a numbers girl, not spelling.
It's all good. All right, let's go back over here to the comments.
Perfect.
And David, here you go. You can use that link right there, and that'll take you right to Erica's page. Or you can do like I do. I just go to Google, type in Erica Davis Guild Mortgage, and it takes you right to the page.
Yeah, and we're available 7 days a week, guys. So I know sometimes it gets crazy during the work week. We're here for you. You know, again, we just want to make sure that, we've got the game plan in place to make this happen.
Yep, for sure. For sure. All right, well, let's check out number 2. Ooh, this might be the only
drive.
The only house on our entire list that is not on the beach.
And guess what?
You know this house.
I know this one too.
I'm sure you.
These were longtime family friends. And this woman, actually, she built the house, had some life events, and she just rebought the house.
Really?
Yeah. So it was something she really wanted to accomplish. It was pretty awesome.
So this is an 8-bedroom, 8-bath with 2 half-bath house. And it has vehicle parking capacity.
Yes, it does.
For 14. And you'll see why here shortly. But first, let's take a look at this. It sits on the waterway.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a massive home. 15,432 heated square feet. 15,000. My office that I'm in is 7,700. So it's this office times 2 for her house.
That's a pretty cool house.
It is huge. So let's look at some pictures here. Sit out on the back porch and look at the waterway.
Nice views.
There's the kitchen with some stained glass in the ceiling. That's kind of pretty looking.
Very pretty.
Nice big grand entrance stairway. This house has a lot of dark wood in it too.
Yes. It was built a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. So you said she bought the house again. Does that mean she's going to go in now and do some renovations?
Probably. Mm-hmm. Her and her husband and family built it. Gosh, I lived on the street behind this home growing up. So it was a good 30 years ago when it was built. But yeah, we helped her with financing the second go round. Just a sweet and incredible woman.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So my question, what I've always wondered is, what is this here? There's like some steps in the middle of this room. You think
it was a theater room, maybe?
Oh, it's the bedroom.
Oh,
so this is the bedroom, and the bed is on like a platform sitting up in the corner. But you have like a basketball court in your bedroom.
Don't know. They're not basketball players.
That is the bedroom.
That is odd.
That is huge. You haven't seen
that
these pictures.
Bathroom's nice.
You've not seen the pictures of this before, have you?
No. I've been in the downstairs, not in the master bedroom.
You could use that closet.
I was going to say that would do me some damage. Very pretty.
But I want to get to some of the really unique things that this house has.
Yes.
There's your fitness center.
Mm-hmm. And there's some sort of it's like a pool, but you can view it in, like, they have windows all throughout. I think you can see it in the kitchen or.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We have the
I'm
movie
spoiling
theater.
it. I'm sorry.
The movie theater room. The secondary kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Some more bedrooms. Here's your pool that's kind of indoors-ish. And it looks like, is that maybe no, it's not. Okay. I thought maybe there was a slide a minute. Like, wait, is there a slide coming from the upstairs? If so, I was about to say, no wonder the house is so much.
Right.
And boat lift and dock.
Very
huge
nice.
Backyard. And then 3-car garage attached. And then here was the thing that made me just go, wow.
Wow. That is a big wow.
Yeah. The secondary garage with, let's put $1 million of vehicles in it as well. Just to show off, I guess.
So important.
So if you're looking for that 15,000-foot house on the waterway, Erica has told you, not only do we have them here in Myrtle Beach, but she can do the financing for it. I can. And so this home, just for anyone who was wondering, was 15,000 square feet, sold for $3,737,500.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
And you still need some work,
Yeah, and you're still going to drop another $400,000 to fix it up.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, there's a lot of place to park your toys. Lots of them. So
you can camp out there until you fixed it all up, right?
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, it's time to look at number 1 on our list today. Drum roll. And the number 1 most expensive home to sell in all of the MLS for 2021 was this home down in Pawleys Island. It is an 8-bedroom, 7-bath, 2.5-bath home with 5,800 heated square feet. So much smaller home, but you've got, once again, the beach behind you right there. And so when that happens, you're going to have a lot more money. The other home's on the waterway. Oh, and it's sold for cash too. $4.1 million. Jeez. I know you're just thinking how many people who could take that money and invest in other things.
No. Who doesn't want, in the 3s interest rate and be able to reinvest your money?
But let's take a look at some of these photos of this one, because I had not looked at this one in detail. That other one I had seen when it was listed, and I sat there and looked at the photos over and over. So you got a decent amount of land there. Kind of a cool entrance.
Yeah, different.
Very much.
Okay, it really doesn't look like you almost have a blocked view of the ocean.
Yeah, it's not. You can see maybe a little bit through here, but there's definitely stuff in the way. And what I wonder is, hold on, we have to now go investigate this a minute, because now I wonder, let's pull up the MLS data on this and look at the so you kind of own out into looks like a pond here. And then you have this in the beach. So it kind of is a quasi beach view.
Interesting.
But not, down in Pawleys Island. Interesting for sure. Because here's your oceanfront houses and your oceanfront here. But I guess technically would be oceanfront, because there's nothing blocking your view there, and this doesn't look like it can be developed. Interesting.
I know. I think 4.1 million, I think I would have to be right on the beach.
I'd have to
That's
walk out
me.
the door and put my toes in the sand.
Yeah.
It looks like it looks like there's a pathway here that takes you down to this,
Okay.
but this isn't the beach. This is kind of like a little lagoon before you get to the beach. Kind of like up at Ocean Creek in
Yes. Okay.
North Myrtle. There's a pool, but yeah, you're not looking out
Mm-mm.
at the ocean at all. Wow. I mean, it's a gorgeous home. I'm not going to lie.
Right.
And if somebody wanted to buy it for me, I'd have no problem with it. I would gladly accept and then probably sell it and
Yes.
buy something else for a lot less and put the rest of it in the bank account.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool the way you kind of walk through
Mm-hmm.
down to the beach.
So you can get there. You're just not going to have, the view.
The house is nice. I mean, there's not really anything that jumps out to me other than that pool and backyard. That makes me go $4 million.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm kind of bummed now.
I know.
We built it up and then kind of wah. Maybe there's something here. I'm going to keep going through the pictures. Something's got to stand out and just make me go, oh, that's why it was $4 million.
Mm.
It's a decent. That's not a bad view, but because of all the natural, which you probably have to keep, you can't really see the beach.
Right. Definitely someone that prefers privacy.
For sure. But I let me see what your thoughts are on this. Which would you prefer? Would you prefer spending $3.5 million to be on the beach, or $1 million to $1.5 million and be on the waterway?
Oh, I'm a beach girl. Beach girl. Mm-hmm.
See, I think I enjoy the beach, but just the cost between insurance and all that kind of stuff, that would probably be okay being on the waterway.
I mean, if money wasn't an object or, a concern, I would rather have my coffee every morning on the beach and just take a walk and decompress out there and soak it all in.
True. Or would you rather have 75 to 100 acres and be out in the country where you have your own land all to yourself that you can go, horseback ride and get on the four-wheel and go do all that?
That would be a fun vacation.
But not either. Okay.
My dream is to be on the beach.
So Erica has made it known she wants beach house. Chris, if you're still watching,
I was going to say he's not.
If you're still watching, we can work on that after this call.
Right.
We'll get this done. Let's see here. Gretel says, "Thank you, Jeremy. Looking forward to working with you." Gretel, it'll be great to work with you too. Erica and I are here to help you however it needs, however we can. And for anybody else who's still watching, I still see there's a bunch of people on. If you guys have questions, please post them now in the comments section. And it's just like as I say that, 2 of them pop in. How about that? Thanks again. Look forward to working with you too in the near future. David, we look forward to helping you. Reach out. If you have questions, easiest way to get me, just shoot me an email, info@jeremyblanton.com. It's in the description of just about all of my videos as well. And you can just shoot me an email. I can get you in touch with Erica as well, if you need help with that along the way. And then my wife says it probably is safer, though, if a storm comes up to be a little bit farther from the ocean. Yes, but you can't hear the waves.
Oh, that's so true. That's the best sound machine, guys. Just leave your windows open.
Your husband said, "Do more loans and we can move, to the beach." Okay, I can do that for you, Chris. I got you. I will get you more loans so you can move to the beach. Yeah. But we're moving in with you. That's the only thing I need to tell you. So,
hey, that would not be bad. I mean, your cooking is amazing. So
there you go. But wait a minute. Then I have to cook for 9?
Yeah. Well, my son can eat a lot.
Listen, now that if we're going to the beach house and can afford that for 9, I think then we need the personal chef by then.
Very true.
Just saying. But anyway, guys, I hope everyone enjoyed tonight. If you guys have any other questions for me, Erica, what's the easiest way for people to get a hold of you? I know you enjoy doing stuff on Instagram.
I do. I'm available by a lot of sources. But yeah, I'm on Instagram. It's The Stylish Lender. Come check it out. I do a whole lot. I talk about Myrtle Beach lending, obviously, and I have a big just joy of fashion and fun and local activities here. And then you can call, text again 7 days a week. It's 843 839 9001.
Here's your Instagram. I saw these celebrities the other day, and I was like, wow, look at those fancy people.
It's not very often we get dressed up, especially after COVID. So we were excited.
I hear you. But yeah, check her out there. And, you can find all kinds of links from here, to her blog. She talks a lot about stuff happening around Myrtle Beach. If you're into fashion stuff, she tells you a ton about that as well there. And I think you can even get to the link from, can we get right to the mortgage from here too?
You can. Yeah, absolutely. The Stylish Lender. And then there's going to be a toggle.
Apply for a loan right there. Bam.
Yep.
So you can apply for the loan right from her Instagram as well. So easy, simple way to get a hold of her. Guys, if you have questions about making the move here, feel free to reach out to me. I'm always here to answer any questions I can help with. I wanted to let y'all know this year I plan to do more of these lives. Erica has already agreed that she will come back again. Maybe sometime maybe sometime we might even allow her husband to come on, although he may not be quite as informative, but we will definitely have lots of laughs.
Thank you. And Jeremy, I have to sing your praises again. We've worked together for so long, and just you take such amazing care of your clients and do the research, and just being here after hours on YouTube and filling people in and educating them. Guys, you couldn't ask for a better realtor to help you out for sure.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So guys, we're going to do another one of these live in 2 weeks. I am bringing on a special guest that night. His name is Scott Comey. He owns a house here in Myrtle Beach, but he's a very unique, interesting study. Not only does he own a home or own property here in Myrtle Beach, he also owns property in Seattle, Washington, which is what he considers his home base. He actually is a realtor and owns a brokerage in Seattle, but he does not like the weather of Seattle. So he has bought a home here because he was tired of dealing with depressing rain and cold, snowy weather. So he now owns a home here and travels across country. I don't even know how many times a year. Wow. He's back and forth between the two places, but we're going to have a lot of fun talking to him. He's going to share some of the differences and things he had to learn quickly when living in South Carolina versus the Pacific Northwest. So I think we'll have a lot of fun with that. Let's see here. Michael sent in a comment, said, thank you both. Love your videos, Jeremy. Glad you could like it. If you guys are on here or not subscribed to the channel, make sure you do it. This week we're going to have I have a fun video coming out, and it'll be titled something along the lines, you know you're from Myrtle Beach if.
Can't wait to check that one out.
And it should be a lot of fun. It's not going to be super, super informative, but it does give good info, and it should give you a good chuckles along the way. But make sure you guys subscribe. Check us out. We'll be back in 2 weeks with Scott, and I have some other amazing guests lined up. I know a lot of people who join me want to move to the area and rent for a while. So I've got my rental manager at Stay and Play Myrtle Beach. She's going to come on probably in the next month as well to talk the rental market. So if you're thinking about buying that property here and renting it for a couple years, Erica helped multiple people this year for me who purchased property but said, hey, we're not going to be able to get to Myrtle Beach for a couple years, but we want to get the house at the prices now versus what they're going to be in a couple years because they continue to go up. So they bought the homes, put 10 to 20% down, and they have long-term tenants in them. The rental market is extremely strong, and so we'll talk about that with her, as well as for people who are thinking about moving, what you can kind of expect if you want to rent a home. I can tell you this. I could take my house that I currently have, and I could rent it for probably twice, if not a little more, than what I pay each month in my mortgage payment.
Not a bad idea, people.
Yeah. So it's not a bad idea, and that's with my taxes and insurance included in that payment that I could do it. So the only other thing I would have is a little bit of electric here and there, and maybe a little bit of an extra insurance premium for a tenant, and that's about it. Because the long-term rentals, the tenants are responsible for utilities, and I pay my HOA. Because I have an HOA with those benefits that we talked about earlier of cable and internet, I could get an extra $100 a month just for my rent because of those. So there's definitely some options out there and values, and we will definitely talk about that in the future. If you want to get those loans, Erica will be the person to get them. I'll help you get the house, and Risa will help you get them rented, and we'll all be a happy family afterwards. So anyway, guys, I appreciate everyone for joining us tonight. Thanks for coming in. We look forward to seeing you in the future, and hope everyone has a fun and amazing evening. Catch y'all later. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.